What is up? Welcome to another tier list video. Hope everybody's having a great day. This is recorded right after the previous one, so that's why everything pretty much looks the same. I wanted to do both these lists, but I just talk way too long about everything. So we're going to make these two different videos. I found this list, which I actually think is an amazing tier list. I decided that, the previous ones we've pretty much dunked on pretty obviously like casual tier lists that are pretty all over the place, but this list is actually great, and I want to talk about why I agree with most of the stuff on this list. There are a few weird choices that I don't necessarily agree with, but this list is pretty awesome. So, yeah, as always, if you like the video, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So this is a Path of Radiance tier list. Obviously, there were no special things when I looked at this on tierlistmaker.com or whatever that website's called. One day I'll learn it, which isn't surprising because this is actually a genuine tier list with a lot of great information in it. So we'll start right with S tier, which we have Jill, Titania, Marcia, Rayson. Clean, love it, absolutely love it. I don't really know why Tanith isn't up here because the reinforced skill is like so insane. I don't really know why she isn't like at least at the back. I also don't know that Jill is like necessarily better than Marcia or Titania for that matter. But that's sort of a preferential thing, right? Is your Jigen better than like your really busted flyers? Is Marcus better than Melody? I don't know. It's up to you. I would probably have like Titania first. And again, I don't know why Tanith isn't up there. But still, very clean S tier. Love it. Love to see it. Rayson is amazing. You can put him whatever you want. But as long as he's an S tier, it's pretty reasonable. The first thing little weird about this tier list. I don't know why Ike is the top of A. Very bizarre. I like Ike a decent amount in this game. I think he's pretty useful at the beginning of the game. And then once you get Aether, he's actually pretty powerful, but his promotion is so late. And even when he gets Aether, he still doesn't have 2 range and his sword locked, which is so brutal for Path of Radiance. So I'm not really sure why he's at the top of A. Again, like this tier list looks really good, but I don't know what this person sees in Ike. Unless maybe they're saying because Ike is one of like him and Gift are like the only people that can actually fight Ashnard in the end, and maybe this person's valuing that a lot. Obviously, when he gets the Ragnell, he's really strong, especially with Aether. But that's so late. I don't really think he belongs in A, especially not at the top, especially not above Tanith, who's like amazing. For those of you who don't know what the reinforced skill is, Tanith can basically call Falcon Knight and 2 Pegasus Knights twice, and you can sort of direct them around. You can give them some directions. Not only that, but Tanith is just an awesome character. She's got good stats. Recruited a little late, but still, an amazing character. I don't really know why Ike's up here. It's really bizarre, but yeah. Then we have another weird choice, Kieran above Oscar. I don't really get that. Oscar is just like better, right? He was recruited earlier, and they both use axes in the end. I don't really see why Kieran would be a better character. But good to have them, in A and next to each other. I think they're correctly placed. But yeah, I'm not really sure why Kieran would be better than Oscar. Then we have Astrid, who's another character that I really like. I think Astrid is one of those characters that when you look at on paper, you're like, I'm not going to use her. And then it's so easy to use her, and she becomes like not only a paladin super quick, but like a level 20 paladin really quick, and winds up being like your best paladin until Oscar and Kieran and them catch up. So I think she's awesome. Um, Another weird choice in horror. I think maybe this person overvalues the class a little bit too much. Obviously, horror's class is really awesome, but Path of Radiance, especially the late game, is like all about combat. And like horror's combat isn't terrible, but it's not very good. You bring out horror onto something like Clash, and he gives you a little bit of combat, right? He's not very good. I have no clue why he's at the bottom of A. Very weird. Again, I think this person might be overvaluing that class a little bit too much because horror is not very good in Path of Radiance. And then Morim, who I don't really see why he's better than like Leith and Mordecai, who are in the next tier. But Morim is a pretty good unit, so I don't think he's like out of place completely here. But I'm not really sure why he's so high. And the demiband he comes with can go on anybody. So yeah, I'm not sure I get that, but again, not totally out of place. Then we have Stefan at the top of B, another really weird choice. I really like Stefan in this game. I think he's really awesome. But he's still a terrible class. He just comes with really good stats and is really useful, especially for the mid game. But yeah, I don't know why he's at the top of B. I don't think he's that good. I think maybe like mid B to low B, something like that. Here, I'll change my camera, but you can probably figure out who the characters are at the bottom of B here. But I'll make it a little smaller, just for now. Just for now. Then we have Soren, who I think is decently placed. I think Soren is a really good unit. I don't really know why he's so far away from Ileana, but I think that's fairly reasonable. Um, should probably be lower. I don't think he's like that good. Magic in this game really blows, but you don't have a lot of access to healing, especially. It's weird because normally I think mages are really good, especially in the GBA games, because magic is really powerful. In this game, it's like the opposite. You want healing. You just want a healer. Magic can be okay, but it's pretty weak in this game. And then Leith, who again I think is a nice choice. I think Leith is a really good unit. Then Boyd, I don't really see Boyd. I don't really get it. Like you could train Boyd, but he's just going to be weaker just because of his class than like most of the other characters in this game. He is useful at the beginning, so I kind of buy him here. And he does have a really high strength like cap. If you can get him to start doubling, his damage output is really, really good. So I don't hate this, but I think he should definitely be in like C. Then Joffrey, who I think is awesome. I think he probably belongs here. Just a really strong unit, even though he's recruited extremely late. Again, I don't know that he should really be better than a lot of these other units because he recruited so late, but he's really good. Then Volk. I don't know why Volk is in the middle here. Obviously he's like one of two thief utilities you get in the entire game, but there's not that much to like open and steal and stuff, and he's got terrible combat. So I guess it's fine to put him in like the middle because he is basically your only access to that, but it's not that useful in this game. Then we have Rice, who I don't really know why Rice isn't higher. Like the healing in this game is so hard to come by because you have Rice, then Mist, who's pretty terrible. I think she's good because she's one of two early healers, but like Rice is like your only healing for the entire early game. You can maybe early promote Soren to get another healer, but that's like it. So I don't know why Rice isn't higher. Then we have Gatry, who it's weird to me. So I don't mind Gatry being fairly high, but it's weird to me that Gatry is so far away from Shinon, who's all the way in D, right? But they serve the exact same purpose, right? They're both really useful at the beginning, and then when they're re-recruited, who cares because they're terrible. So I don't know why he's so far away from Shinon when he offers basically the same thing. Maybe he's better, but I don't know that he's really like that much better. If you value what Gatry gives you, you should also value what Shinon gives you. So I don't know why they're so far apart, but I don't mind Gatry being here. I just don't know why Shinon isn't here. Then Makalov, which I think is fine. His class pretty much carries the fact that his stats, late recruitment, pretty late level are pretty bad, but he's a Cav, so we give him a pass. Then Mist, who I think is pretty terrible, but again is like one of two healers you get in the entire game, other than like Alencia or promoted mages. So I think she definitely belongs here. Her promoted class is also pretty nice. Valkyrie, the mobility that provides is pretty nice. I think that's reasonable. Mordecai, I think again reasonably placed, pretty good unit. I don't know why Zahark's here. Zahark is really really bad. I don't get it. I totally buy Stefan because his stats are so insane. But Zahark is just not very good. Like you can see immediately when he tries to fight those calves that he spawns near that he just can't do it. This game is all about bulk. It's all about hitting hard, and unfortunately, the Myrmidons they can't do it. And Zahark is not an exception. It's weird again that Mia is so low and Zahark is this high. Like if you understand that Mia is terrible, you should also understand that Zahark is terrible. So I don't really get that, but yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Then we have Ileana, who again, I'll make my camera a little bit bigger. Hello. Again, like she should just be higher. Like, how is Ileana worse than Zahark? I don't really get that. But ranked here is like fairly reasonable, I think. But she's better than. There's just some weird choices. Like she's better than Har or Zahark, probably Ike, probably Gatry. It's just weird that she's so low. Then Nephany, who I also don't really understand. Like Nephany's just not very good. This isn't a terrible ranking, um, but you've this person's put her over some like really useful units like Ranulf. Um, okay, a lot of the units we haven't talked about yet are pretty bad, but still, like Ranulf, Devdan, like these units can give you decent utility, and like Nephany just sucks. Like you can put some effort into her and she's okay, but you got to put that effort into her. So I don't really know why she's that high. I like Nephany, but she's not very good in the game. Then Nasir and Enna are both here. I've never really found a ton of use for either of them, but it's probably reasonably placed. Ranulf, I think Ranulf's actually a pretty good unit. I don't really know why he's so low, but he's recruited pretty late, and he is pretty mediocre, so I don't really mind that. Tormund, also pretty mediocre. I think she may be a little bit higher. I think Celerity is a really nice ability, but he's recruited, like he's just so weak when he's recruited. Um, Then really bizarre. So Yuki and JNF being this low, I don't think is like that unreasonable. I think they should probably be higher, but whatever. But why is Yuki over JNF? That I don't understand. Again, some of these like specific placings in the specific like realm of the tier list or class of the tier list, whatever you want to call it, might not be that like specified, right? It might just be like, okay, Yuki and JNF are at the bottom of C. I don't care which is which. But like JNF is way better than Yuki. He's got better stats and he transforms right away on map. So don't really get that. But yeah, they're pretty bad, so that's reasonable. Tyranio, Devdan, decent pre mounts, but pretty bad. Shinon, we talked about. Largo, pretty bad. I don't know why Largo's ahead of Khalil. I didn't even notice that. Like, Khalil is actually a pretty decent unit in the mid game. At least she's okay. Bastion, Lucia, Largo. None of these units can really offer any utility. I mean, Largo can at least deal some damage, but is definitely not better than Khalil, I don't think. Alencia, I like that Alencia gives you like immediate physic uses and stuff. I don't think she's that bad, but that's fine. Mia's terrible. Soda's terrible. Totally fine. Brom's terrible. Rolf's terrible. I don't really see why Mia's better than Rolf, or sorry, better than Brom, but I totally agree with E. And yeah, that's the end of the tier list. Then we have some unused units, which for some reason Tabarn Nasala, is Gifka on the list? Gifka's also here. I don't know. I guess not ranking those is fine. They are not unused. They are usable units in the game. But I guess not ranking them is probably fine because like they're basically not in the game, which I kind of respect honestly. But yeah, this tier list, it's not bad. There are just some choices that are really perplex me. Clearly, this person has a decent idea of like what is good in the game. I mean, we can look at S tier and immediately know this person understands what's good. But again, like I would say Ike, Har, Boyd, Zahark especially, Shinon, Nefany. There are some really weird choices at different points on this list. But I think overall this is honestly definitely the best list we've looked at, of course. And I think a pretty decent list. So good job to whoever made this. I agree with most of what you said here. But there are some weird choices. Oscar being below Kieran. Yeah. Whatever. If you made this list, please let me know. I don't know how you felt about my reaction video, whatever. And yeah, that is the end of this list. If I were going to give this a rank, I'd probably give this like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, something like that. Some weird choices, but this person, his heart's in the right place, you know, and you got to respect that. Certainly better than most of the stuff I see. So pretty decent tier list.